Hey friends, tonight we're sinking into the drifting world of jellyfish, creatures that look like floating moons stitched from water. They've survived for 500 million years, pulsing slowly in silence, like living memories of the sea. This video is here to slow down your thoughts, to help you rest, or maybe to keep you gently awake with wonder. If you'd like to support more stories like this, a quick like and subscribe goes a long way. And tell me in the comments, are you watching from a quiet dorm room in Chicago, or maybe sneaking in a bedtime listen from your tent under the stars in Morocco? So put on your headphones, close your eyes. It's made for relaxation and learning. Ready? Let's begin. The ocean is an old storyteller. His voice is slow, deep, and endless, carrying secrets from a time before memory. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it breathing, like a giant asleep beneath the stars. Among its oldest whispers lives a creature so delicate it looks like a dream made of water. This is the jellyfish. It has been here for more than 500 million years. That is longer than the dinosaurs, longer than the first trees, longer than the mountains we think of as eternal. The jellyfish is older than history itself. It has seen the world change in ways our minds can hardly imagine, yet it keeps floating quietly, as if time were just a gentle current. When the first fish learned how to swim, jellyfish were already pulsing. When forests grew and covered the earth, jellyfish were still there, drifting. Even when mighty creatures like the Tyrannosaurus roared across the land far below in the rolling seas, jellyfish carried on with their quiet dance, never needing bones, never needing voices, simply being. They are like living fossils that never turn to stone. They do not need the land, they do not need the air, they need only the slow embrace of the sea. To imagine the age of jellyfish, picture a clock that ticks not in seconds but in millions of years. Every tick is a world changing. Continents split, ice covers the earth, stars shift in the sky, and still the jellyfish drifts. Its body, soft as a cloud and clear as glass, moves gently following the currents. It has no brain to wonder about its place in time, yet it survives the rise and fall of empires, the birth and death of countless species. That is its secret. It does not fight the ocean, it becomes part of it. It flows where the water goes. It listens to the earth in ways more ancient than thought itself. In this way, the jellyfish is both fragile and eternal. It is delicate, but it has outlived creatures far stronger and louder. The secret is not strength. The secret is softness. A jellyfish does not resist. It drifts. Imagine yourself floating beside one in the quiet sea. The world above fades away. There are no cars, no cities, no ticking clocks. Only the soft pulse of a jellyfish moving with the water. It glows faintly in the sunlight that filters down like a silver curtain. It feels like a lantern from another world, breathing slowly. Watching it is like watching time itself breathe. The jellyfish is a reminder that not everything must rush. Not everything must change quickly. Some things endure by simply being gentle. Scientists who study the jellyfish say its story is like reading a diary written in water. Fossils show their ancient forms, shapes that look almost the same as the ones we see today. While many animals have changed over millions of years, jellyfish barely needed to. They were already complete in their own way. They did not need bones to stand tall. They did not need eyes to see the world. They did not need voices to call across the sea. All they needed was the pulse, the rhythm of drifting, the art of flowing with the tide. That simple way of being carried them through time when so many others vanished. The trilobites are gone, the ammonites are gone, the great dinosaurs are gone. But jellyfish are still here, pulsing in the dark like gentle stars of the ocean. When you think of 500 million years, it feels impossible. Our own lives are so small, like tiny drops compared to the sea of time. A human may live 80 years, maybe 100 if lucky. But jellyfish have lived through ages, where continents moved across the globe, where oceans opened and closed, where the air itself changed. They have survived ice ages and fiery extinctions. They have watched the oceans rise and fall, their tides whispering to the moon. Through all of this, jellyfish have stayed, drifting slowly, glowing softly. Their presence is proof that sometimes survival is not about being the biggest or the fastest, but about knowing how to be still, how to float, how to let the water carry you. Close your eyes and picture them glowing like floating umbrellas, their tentacles trailing behind like ribbons of silk. In their quietness, there is wisdom. In their fragility, there is strength. They have endured not by fighting, but by surrendering to the rhythm of the sea. If the ocean is a song, then jellyfish are its softest notes. They do not rush the melody. They do not change the tune. They simply drift with it, adding their glow, their pulse, their endless presence. They remind us that time is not always a race. Sometimes it is a gentle drift, a long breath, a slow wave carrying us into tomorrow. And so the jellyfish remains, older than the mountains, older than the forests, older than almost all life we know. The ocean cradles it, the moon pulls it, the stars shine above it, and still it drifts, as if time itself cannot touch it. To know the jellyfish is to listen to the oldest lullaby of the sea. It is to feel the calm of something that has survived by simply being for 500 million years and still counting. The art of drifting. The jellyfish has no map, no compass, no need for direction. It does not fight against the sea. Instead, it surrenders to it. The ocean is its road, its home, its sky, its bed. Currents carry it where they wish, and the jellyfish accepts this with a quiet grace. This is the art of drifting. It is not laziness. It is not weakness. It is trust, a trust in the water that surrounds it, in the moon that tugs on the tides, in the deep rhythm of the earth itself. Where the current goes, the jellyfish follows. Where the waves turn, the jellyfish turns. It does not resist. It glides. If you have ever floated in the sea on your back, letting the water hold you up, you already know this feeling. Your body becomes light. The waves carry you, rocking you like a cradle. The world becomes slower. The jellyfish lives in this feeling always. It is weightless. It is effortless. Every pulse of its bell is small, gentle, just enough to rise and fall, to drift a little further, to breathe in the rhythm of the tide. While fish dart and chase, while crabs crawl and scuttle, while whales dive and sing, the jellyfish simply drifts. It is the ocean's dream of movement without hurry. This drifting is not aimless. It is a way of life that has kept jellyfish alive for hundreds of millions of years. The sea is not still. It has rivers within it, currents that stretch across the world like invisible highways. Warm water moves north, cold water sinks south, tides pull and release with the moon. A jellyfish steps into these hidden rivers, and without effort it may travel across oceans. From one shore to another, from the surface to the deep, carried like a feather in the wind, it journeys without knowing. It is journeying. To be a jellyfish is to wander endlessly, without a plan, without regret. There is a quiet beauty in this surrender. We, on land, often believe we must control everything. We rush. We push. We fight against currents we cannot see, but the jellyfish shows another way. It tells us that sometimes drifting is not giving up, it is surviving. By flowing instead of fighting, it conserves its strength. By being carried instead of forcing, it lasts longer than creatures that spend their lives in struggle. The art of drifting is a kind of wisdom. It is the wisdom of water. Imagine yourself as a jellyfish, your body soft, almost transparent, glowing faintly in the sunlight. You do not hurry, the waves cradle you. The currents lead you through forests of seaweed, through clouds of plankton, past mountains of coral. You pulse gently like a slow heartbeat. The sea carries you further, deeper, sometimes to places you have never seen. You do not fear this. You are not lost, because in drifting there is no such thing as being lost. There is only movement, only flow. You're always where you are meant to be because the sea itself is guiding you. Scientists have watched jellyfish travel hundreds of miles without effort, carried by seasonal currents. Whole blooms of jellyfish, thousands of them, drift together like a moving cloud. From above, it looks like a living blanket spread across the water, shifting slowly, covering the sea like a dream. Each jellyfish pulses softly in no hurry, yet together they cross distances that would take a human ship weeks to travel. Their journey is not planned, but it is real. It is the journey of surrender, the journey of trust. There are times when drifting brings jellyfish into strange places, sometimes too close to shore, sometimes into waters where they cannot survive. And yet, as a species, they continue. Even when one jellyfish fades, others carry on. The ocean is too vast, too full of paths for them not to find a way. Their drifting is not perfect, but it is enough. And in nature, sometimes enough is all that is needed. When we think of power, we imagine force, muscles, speed, teeth, claws. The jellyfish has none of these. Its power lies in stillness. Its gift is to be light enough, soft enough, empty enough that the ocean can hold it, carry it, move it across the world. It is like a leaf on the wind, but gentler, older, softer. The leaf falls and dies, but the jellyfish continues, generation after generation carried forward. It shows us that power can be quiet, that strength can be soft, that survival can be gentle. The art of drifting is not only movement, it is also meditation. Each pulse of the jellyfish's bell is slow and steady like a breath. In, out, in, out. The sea breathes with it. Watching a jellyfish, you may feel your own breathing slow down, matching its rhythm. In, out, in, out. Time stretches. Minutes feel like hours, hours feel like dreams. The jellyfish drifts and you drift with it. In the deep ocean far from land, drifting becomes even more mysterious. Currents there are vast and slow, rivers of water that circle the planet. Jellyfish that enter these currents may be carried across entire oceans, glowing faintly in the dark, tiny lanterns on an endless road. They do not know they are travellers, yet they move farther than most creatures could ever swim. Their journey is a secret written in the water. Drifting is not only for travel, it is also how jellyfish find food. They let the water bring tiny plankton into their tentacles. They do not chase, they do not hunt. They wait, they drift, and the sea provides. Each tiny catch is enough to live, enough to grow, enough to carry the pulse forward. Their survival is woven into the flow itself. The art of drifting is an art of trust, of patience, of faith in the unseen. And so the jellyfish drifts on, a gentle passenger of the sea. It reminds us that we too are carried by currents we cannot see, currents of time, of change, of life itself. Sometimes we fight them, sometimes we exhaust ourselves swimming against them, but perhaps, like the jellyfish, we could learn to trust the drift, to let go, to surrender, to believe that the ocean of life knows where to take us. The jellyfish teaches us that there is a kind of freedom in drifting, freedom from struggle, freedom from control, freedom from the need to know where every step will lead. It is not about being lost, it is about being carried, and in that softness lies a quiet eternity. The art of drifting is the art of peace, written in water, sung by the sea, and embodied by a creature as fragile as light, yet as ancient as time. The glow in the darkness. Deep in the ocean, where sunlight cannot reach, there is a darkness so complete it feels like another world. It is a silence, a blackness, a place where sight is almost useless. And yet, in this hidden realm, light blooms. It is not the light of the sun, not the glow of fire, but something softer, stranger, more mysterious. It is the light of life itself. Jellyfish drift here, glowing like lanterns in a midnight sea. Their bodies shimmer with blue, green, sometimes red, sometimes violet. Each pulse sends a ripple of light through the water, as if stars had fallen from the sky and decided to live beneath the waves. This is bioluminescence, the art of making light in the dark. The glow of jellyfish is not just beauty, it is survival. Some jellyfish glow to confuse predators, flashing suddenly so that attackers lose their way. Others glow to attract prey, shining gently until curious plankton swim closer. Some use light like a shield, a quiet warning in the dark. And some glow simply because it is written into their bodies, as natural as breathing. Their light is made by tiny chemical reactions inside them, sparks of life that shine where no sunbeam can follow. To us, it looks like magic. To them, it is as simple as a heartbeat. Imagine being in the deep ocean, floating with them. Around you there is nothing but black. You cannot see your own hands, your own body. But then, slowly, faintly, a light begins to glow. It pulses, gentle and slow, like a candle seen through water. Then another appears, and another, until the darkness is filled with drifting lights, soft and silent, swaying like fireflies at the bottom of the sea. You are surrounded not by emptiness but by a living galaxy, each jellyfish a star, each pulse a song. The ocean, once dark, becomes a sky turned upside down. For millions of years, jellyfish have carried this light. Scientists believe bioluminescence evolved because darkness is never truly empty. Even in the deepest ocean, life hunts, life flees, life survives. In such a place, light is both a weapon and a gift. A jellyfish that glows can startle a predator, making it hesitate. A jellyfish that shimmers can lure tiny animals into its trailing tentacles. Some even release glowing sparks into the water, little decoys of light. While they drift silently away, their glow is their language, their shield, their secret. But to us, their glow is more than survival, it is wonder. To see a glowing jellyfish is to see something that feels impossible. It is to be reminded that beauty exists even in places where we think beauty cannot reach. We imagine the deep ocean as empty, cold, lifeless. Yet in truth it is full of light, soft and living, drifting in patterns that no human hand could design. The jellyfish are like painters in the dark, leaving strokes of colour on a black canvas. They show us that darkness is not the end of light. It is the stage where light becomes most visible. On the surface of the ocean, at night, sometimes waves will glow too. Tiny plankton, disturbed by the movement of water, shine briefly, leaving trails of blue fire behind. Swimmers who enter these waters find themselves glowing too, their arms traced with sparks, their footsteps leaving light in the sand. But deeper, where the sea is colder and heavier, it is the jellyfish who carry this glow. They do not need the moon. They do not need the stars. They carry their own. In some parts of the world, fishermen tell stories of nets that come back shining, full of glowing jellyfish, dripping light like melted stars. Sailors once thought these glowing seas were magic, signs from gods or spirits. Even today, when science explains the chemistry, the sight still feels otherworldly. Because knowledge does not take away beauty, it adds to it. Knowing how a jellyfish glows does not make it less magical, it makes it even more so. That such a fragile creature made mostly of water can hold light inside its body is a miracle written in biology. When you watch a glowing jellyfish, your own body feels calmer. Its pulses are slow, steady, hypnotic. Light spreads through it gently, never harsh, never sudden, like a lantern breathing. It feels like time is slowing down, like you are watching the heartbeat of the sea itself. The darkness around becomes softer, less frightening because it is dotted with life, with warmth, with colour. The jellyfish remind you that even in the deepest dark there is always light. Some jellyfish glow only when touched, like hidden embers that flare when disturbed. Others glow constantly, drifting like soft lamps through the night sea. Some pulse in waves, their whole bodies flashing in patterns, as if the ocean itself were speaking in light. Imagine 1,000 of them together, pulsing in rhythm, a living orchestra of brightness. The water would be filled with silent fireworks, each one softer than the last, each one fading into calm. It would be like floating in a dream where stars drift past you slowly, endlessly. The colours of their glow are not random. Blue and green travel best through water, reaching farther than red or yellow. That is why most jellyfish shine in those shades. It is not just beauty, it is adaptation. Their light is shaped by the sea itself, tuned to the darkness where they live. Yet sometimes, in rare places, red and purple flashes appear, bright and strange, as if the ocean decided to paint with unusual colours for a moment. Every glow is both science and art, survival and beauty, necessity and wonder. The glow of jellyfish has even helped humans. Scientists discovered a glowing protein inside them, one that can be used in medicine and research. This little piece of jellyfish light has been placed inside cells to track them, inside brains to study them, even inside animals to learn how life works. In this way, jellyfish light has become a tool of human discovery, a gift from the deep sea to the surface world. Their glow is not only calming, it is useful. It bridges the gap between their silent drifting and our searching minds. Yet beyond usefulness, beyond science, there is still poetry. Watching a glowing jellyfish is like watching a thought appear in the dark. It flickers, it pulses, it fades. It feels alive in a way that is not just physical but emotional. It speaks to something deep inside us, the part that looks at the night sky and feels small, the part that sees a firefly and smiles. The jellyfish glow is both alien and familiar. Alien because it happens in a place we cannot live. Familiar because it reminds us of our own need for light in the dark. And so the jellyfish drifts, carrying its quiet lantern, shining softly in the endless black. It does not know it is beautiful. It does not know it is ancient. It simply glows because that is what it does, what it has always done, what it will do as long as the sea cradles it. Its glow is not for us, yet we are touched by it. It is not meant to comfort us, yet it does. In the silence of the deep, the glow of the jellyfish is a lullaby, a slow reminder that even where there is no sun, life can still shine. The body of a jellyfish is like a secret you can almost see through. It is there, floating, pulsing, shining, faintly, yet at the same time it feels like it might vanish if you blink. 95% of a jellyfish is water. The rest is so light, so delicate that it seems less like an animal and more like a piece of the ocean that decided to move on its own. If you hold one gently in your hands, it feels like holding a trembling ghost. Not solid, not heavy, not fixed. A jellyfish is more water than flesh, more transparency than substance. Its body is a window into the sea itself. This invisibility is not weakness, it is protection. In the vast ocean, many creatures hunt with sight. Fish look for shapes, sharks search for movement, birds watch the surface for glimmers of life. But the jellyfish is hard to see, it blends into the water, almost disappearing. Its tentacles trail like thin threads of glass. Its bell is soft and clear, bending light around it. To predators, it is less a target and more a shimmer. It is a shadow of the sea, not an object but a ripple. In this way, invisibility becomes armour. Not by fighting, not by running, but by vanishing into the very world around it. Imagine swimming alongside one on a calm day. At first you see nothing. The water looks empty. Then a flicker catches your eye. A soft pulse, a curve of glass, a trailing ribbon. Suddenly the jellyfish is there, right before you, though it had been there all along. Its body moves like breath, expanding, contracting, flowing with the current. And then, with the next wave, it almost disappears again, leaving only a faint shimmer. Watching it is like trying to follow a dream, clear, one moment, fading the next, never fully yours to hold. Invisibility is a kind of mystery. The jellyfish does not need bones or shells. It does not wear armour or scales. Its body is fragile, yet it endures. For hundreds of millions of years, This softness has been enough. In a world where sharp teeth and hard shells are common, the jellyfish chooses a different path. It is not hard, it is not strong, it is transparent, and still it survives. This is the paradox of the jellyfish. The less it resists, the longer it lasts. The more invisible it becomes, the safer it is. It teaches us that strength does not always mean being solid. Sometimes it means being unseen. If you look closely at its body, you can see more than emptiness. You may notice faint colours, pinks, blues, purples, golds, shining, when the light hits just right. Some jellyfish look like crystal, some like moonlight, some like stained glass windows drifting through the sea. Their invisibility is never plain. It is decorated with light, shaped by the sun, painted by the water. Each jellyfish is like a moving prism, bending the ocean's light into gentle colours. The way they move adds to their mystery. A jellyfish does not swim with force. It pulses, slow and steady, like a heart. Each contraction pushes water away, lifting its body upward, and then it relaxes, drifting down again. This motion is quiet, rhythmic, like a lullaby written in movement. Combined with its transparency, the jellyfish seems less like a living creature and more like a thought passing through the water. It is here, then gone, then here again. Scientists say jellyfish are among the simplest animals in form. No brain, no bones, no heart. Just a nerve net, tentacles, and a body shaped like a bell. And yet, within this simplicity, there is elegance. Every part is designed for survival. The clear bell allows light to pass through, hiding it from predators. The soft body makes it resistant to damage. Teeth and claws pass through without breaking it completely. The water inside keeps it buoyant, moving with the sea instead of against it. It is fragile but functional, delicate but designed. There is poetry in this simplicity. We often think life must be complex to endure. But the jellyfish shows another way. To be simple is not to be weak. To be transparent is not to be empty. Sometimes the most enduring things are those that resist definition, that slip past the eye, that flow instead of standing still. The jellyfish's invisible body is not an absence. It is a presence too soft to grasp, too fluid to pin down. It belongs to the water in a way solid creatures never can. At night, under the moon, jellyfish can seem even more invisible. The ocean reflects silver light and their bodies reflect it back, blending perfectly into the sea. A swimmer may pass right by without knowing they are surrounded. Yet sometimes, under certain angles, they catch the light and glow faintly, like ghosts illuminated for a heartbeat before fading again. They are like spirits of the ocean, drifting in and out of sight. In mythology, creatures that vanish are often seen as magical. Spirits, shadows, phantoms. But the jellyfish's invisibility is not supernatural. It is science shaped into softness. Water bending light. Cells arranged in a way that lets vision pass through. Simplicity arranged so well that it becomes elegance. Even knowing this, even understanding the biology, does not erase the wonder. If anything, it deepens it. The jellyfish becomes a reminder that the line between science and magic is sometimes thin. What is magical to the heart is often natural to the earth. For us, invisibility is a dream, a fantasy. We imagine cloaks, potions, machines that hide us. For the jellyfish, it is simply what it is. No effort, no invention, no desire. Just a body so light, so soft, so watery that it is almost not there. And yet it is there, pulsing, glowing, surviving. The ocean holds it as gently as a mother holds a child, cradling it in currents, hiding it from harm, letting it drift in and out of sight. If you close your eyes and picture it, the jellyfish becomes more than an animal. It becomes an idea. The idea that not everything must be solid to be real, that not everything must be seen to exist, that sometimes the most powerful presence is the one you can barely notice. Its invisible body is a lesson in humility, in gentleness, in endurance. It tells us that there is strength in being unseen, beauty in being transparent, survival in being soft. And so the jellyfish drifts, a body of water inside the water, a shadow of the sea, an invisible traveller carried by the tides. It is there and not there, present and absent, fragile and eternal. In its transparency, it holds a secret older than words, that to be unseen does not mean to be unimportant, that to be invisible does not mean to be empty, that sometimes the softest things are the ones that last the longest. The rhythm of pulsing. The ocean is full of quiet patterns. The waves rise, the waves fall, the tides come in, the tides slip away, and deep in the water, the jellyfish moves with its own small rhythm, a pulsing beat as soft as a lullaby. It does not swim the way a fish swims. It does not push with fins or twist its body like dolphins do. Instead, it opens and closes, opens and closes. Each pulse is like a heartbeat of water. Each motion is gentle, repeating, calm. Imagine a paper lantern filling with air, then sinking back in. Imagine a slow breath, in and out, in and out. That is how the jellyfish moves. It does not rush, it does not force, it glides, carried partly by itself and partly by the sea. Scientists call this motion jet propulsion, but the name sounds too sharp for something so soft. The jellyfish is not a machine, not a rocket. Its jets are not explosions, they are ripples. With every squeeze, it presses water behind and drifts forward, little by little, like a sigh moving through the ocean. The rhythm is slow, and it saves energy. A jellyfish can pulse gently for hours without tiring. It is a master of balance, not too fast, not too still. The ocean does most of the work. The jellyfish simply joins the dance. Close your eyes for a moment. Think of the rhythm. In, out, open. Close, a steady, endless motion. It feels like breathing. It feels like the heartbeat of the sea. When scientists measured the energy jellyfish spend while moving, they were surprised. For such a simple creature, the jellyfish moves with amazing efficiency. In fact, jellyfish are among the most energy-efficient travellers in the ocean. They use less effort to move 1 mile than almost any other animal. They show us that sometimes the easiest way is the wisest way. Other animals race and fight against the currents. Fish twist and dart, whales dive and push, but the jellyfish teaches a softer lesson. Let rhythm carry you. Let the world move you forward. The pulsing also creates patterns in the water, like invisible trails. As the jellyfish moves, the water swirls behind it, gentle loops and spirals. Tiny creatures floating nearby are caught in these currents. Some become food, drifting straight into the jellyfish's waiting tentacles. Without chasing, without hunting, the jellyfish gathers what it needs. This rhythm is not only movement, it is life. The pulsing spreads oxygen across its body. Since it has no heart, this motion helps the water flow, keeping every cell alive. The jellyfish's body is like a soft drum beating to stay awake in the ocean. Sometimes whole groups of jellyfish drift together. Imagine thousands of soft bodies, all pulsing at once, open, close, close. Their rhythm becomes a kind of silent choir in the water. If you could listen with your eyes, you would hear the ocean's quiet music. At night, in some seas, glowing jellyfish pulse with light. Each beat sends out a shimmer, like lanterns breathing in the dark. They look like stars rising and falling under the waves. The whole ocean becomes a sky turned upside down, filled with living constellations. The rhythm of jellyfish reminds us of our own rhythms, the steady beating of a heart, the slow rise and fall of our chest as we sleep. Even the blinking of our eyes, the circling of our thoughts follow patterns. We too are made of repeating motions. When life feels heavy, think of the jellyfish pulse, not rushing, not still, just a simple movement, enough to keep going, a reminder that survival does not always mean speed. Sometimes it means softness. If you place your hand in the water near a jellyfish, you might feel the faint push as it pulses. A small wave against your skin. A secret handshake from the sea. The jellyfish does not notice you. It only continues, open, close, like a clock that does not care about time, only the beat. This rhythm has lasted for millions of years. Long before humans had music, jellyfish had their song. It has never stopped. Through ancient oceans, through drifting ages, jellyfish have pulsed in silence. And maybe that is why they calm us. Their motion whispers a truth we forget. There is no need to hurry. The ocean is wide, time is long, and each gentle beat is enough. So tonight, as you rest, imagine yourself drifting with them. Feel the pulse of water under your body. Feel the rhythm move through you. Like jellyfish, you do not need to chase the world. You only need to open and close, and drift. The silent hunters. In the wide blue sea, there are hunters that chase with speed, sharks with flashing teeth, dolphins that leap and spin, tuna that slice through water like silver arrows. But jellyfish are not like them. They do not chase, they do not roar. They are hunters of souls. A jellyfish waits as the ocean moves. Its body is a drifting lantern, soft and quiet. But from its edges trail long delicate threads, tentacles thin as hair and many feet long. They look gentle like ribbons, but hidden inside them are tiny stinging cells, called nematocysts, each one a coiled spring of lightning. When something touches tentacle, even the smallest brush, the spring releases. In less than a blink, a dart shoots out, so fast it pierces skin before nerves can react. For the prey there is no warning. A tiny fish glides too close. Speck of plankton drifts into the threads. The sting is silent, but powerful. The prey grows still, wrapped into softness, pulled toward the centre. The jellyfish does not need claws or teeth or chase. Its hunting is patient. It lets the sea bring food to its arms. It waits, drifting like a ghost, until the moment arrives. Scientists have studied these stings under microscopes. Each stinging cell is like a little arrow hidden in a capsule. Inside is a coiled tube loaded with venom. When triggered, the tube unrolls explosively, stabbing into the target. Some nematocysts release toxins strong enough to paralyze in seconds. To us, a jellyfish sting can feel like fire on the skin, a sharp memory of the ocean's wildness. But to the jellyfish, it is simply survival. Without a brain, without thought, it has found a way to feed, to endure. Nature builds tools even in silence. Not all jellyfish stings are painful. Some are too small for humans to feel. The ocean is filled with a jellyfish so tiny they can sit on the tip of a finger. Their stings work only on creatures smaller than them, invisible to us. They are hunters of plankton, drifting with nets we cannot see. Yet, some jellyfish are more dangerous. The box jellyfish, almost invisible in the clear waters of Australia, carries one of the most potent venoms known. Its sting can stop a human heart in minutes. Even here, in the calm, drifting beauty, danger sleeps. The sea is never only soft, it is also sharp. Still, most jellyfish live far from harm, feeding only on the smallest meals. They capture plankton, tiny shrimp, little fish larvae. Their tentacles move food toward the soft folds of their mouth, and the ocean continues as before, quiet, endless. If you were to watch a jellyfish hunting in the dark, it would look like slow magic. Its body glows faintly, pulsing like a lamp. Round it, its tentacles stretch outward, invisible nets drifting through water. One by one, small sparks of life touch them and vanish into the folds. No sound, no struggle, only drifting, pulsing, feeding. There is something dreamlike about it. Hunting without chase, eating without hurry, survival wrapped in stillness. The jellyfish reminds us that strength does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it waits. Imagine being a small fish in the ocean at night. Around you is only darkness and the sway of currents. You drift unaware until a soft thread brushes past. You feel nothing, only a sudden heaviness, a slowing of fins. You're pulled gently toward a glowing shape, and then silence. The jellyfish is both delicate and deadly. Its body can be torn by waves, eaten by turtles, washed ashore by winds. Yet within it are weapons sharper than steel, faster than any arrow. It is fragile but not defenseless. This balance is everywhere in nature. Roses carry thorns. Bees carry stingers. Even the softest things are given armour. The jellyfish carries its sting in silence, using it not for anger, but for life, and when it feeds, it does so slowly. The prey is brought into the bell where digestion begins. No chewing, no noise, just the steady breaking down of food into energy. The jellyfish drifts onward, glowing faintly, ready for the next gift the sea will bring. Watching a jellyfish hunt is like watching time slow down. It feels less like an attack and more like a dream. The ocean carries, the tentacles wait. The sting flashes unseen. Everything is patient. Everything is quiet. Perhaps this is why jellyfish are both feared and admired. They are reminders of the sea's hidden power and also of its endless calm. They show us that silence can hold strength and stillness can hold survival. So tonight, as you drift into sleep, imagine the jellyfish around you, drifting softly in the dark water. Imagine their tentacles trailing like threads of moonlight. They are hunters, yes, but hunters of silence. They do not chase, they do not shout, they only wait, and in their waiting they endure. The immortal jellyfish. In the world above the waves, everything grows old. Trees stretch tall then fall, mountains wear down under wind and rain. Animals are born, live and die. Even the stars, those shining giants of the sky, one day fade away. But deep in the sea there is a small creature that whispers a different story. A story of a life without an ending. The immortal jellyfish. His true name is Turritopsis dohrni. It is tiny, smaller than your fingernail, clear as glass, almost invisible in the water. To the eye, it looks fragile, like it could vanish at a touch. But inside its simple body, nature has written a secret, the ability to turn back time. Most jellyfish follow the same path. They begin as drifting larvae, then settle on rocks, then grow into small polyps like sea flowers. From there, they transform into the medusa, the bell-shaped jellyfish we recognize pulsing and drifting through the sea. This is the adult stage, the last stage, the one that ends in age and death. But Turritopsis does something extraordinary. When it is injured or starving or near the edge of life, it does not simply fade. Instead, it changes direction. Its body folds inward. Its cells shift and reshape. The adult medusa turns back into a polyp, its earlier form. It becomes young again, starting its cycle over, like a story that refuses to end. Imagine if a butterfly, instead of dying, could return to its cocoon and become a caterpillar once more. Imagine if an old tree could shrink back into a sapling to grow again. That is the power of the immortal jellyfish. It resets the clock of its life again and again. Scientists call this transdifferentiation, the changing of one type of cell into another. Muscle becomes nerve, skin becomes stem. It is as if the jellyfish's body remembers every stage it has ever been and can choose to return there. It is not bound to one path. It is a circle, endless. Does this mean it never dies? Not exactly. The immortal jellyfish can still be eaten by predators. It can still be destroyed by storms or trapped on a shore. But in perfect conditions, it could, in theory, live forever. not as one continuous adult, but as a being that rewinds itself, refusing to stop. This tiny jellyfish has become a symbol of mystery. Humans dream of immortality, of medicine that could heal age itself. We search in labs and stories for ways to escape time, yet here in the drifting quiet of the ocean, a creature without a brain, without a heart, carries the secret in silence. To imagine its life is to imagine a story that loops forever. A jellyfish drifts, pulses, grows older. Then, sensing the end, it folds back, settles, and becomes young again. It grows, drifts, ages, and folds again. On and on, a circle of being. The ocean holds many wonders, but few as gentle as this, the possibility of beginning again, not rushing forward, not fighting the end, but returning softly to the start like a tide that always comes back. Scientists still do not fully understand this power. They study the immortal jellyfish, hoping its secrets might teach us about healing, about regeneration. Could its gift one day help humans mend broken hearts, cure damaged tissues, slow down aging? No one knows. For now, the jellyfish keeps its mystery, drifting like a quiet teacher we cannot yet hear. And perhaps that is the lesson. Life does not need to be long to be wondrous. But in the ocean, one creature shows that endings are not always final. That time can bend, that beginnings can bloom again and again. If you were to hold one of these tiny beings in your hand, you might not notice it at all. It would look like a bubble, a shimmer of light. But inside that shimmer is a miracle, one of the strangest in nature, a life that circles back on itself, over and over, like a dream that never ends. So as you drift into sleep tonight, think of the immortal jellyfish. Think of its endless cycle, its quiet defiance of time. Imagine yourself like it, able to rest, to fold inward, to begin again tomorrow, no matter how heavy today felt. For in the ocean there is a creature that has turned life into a circle, and in that circle there is peace. Jellyfish cities. The ocean is full of quiet surprises. Sometimes when the water warms, when the currents shift just right. When the moon and the tide whisper together, jellyfish gather in numbers so great that the sea itself changes. One jellyfish is soft and silent, but when thousands drift together, pulsing in unison, they form something vast, something strange, a living city of water and light. Scientists call it a bloom, but the word feels too small for the sight. Imagine looking into the sea and finding it filled, wall to wall, horizon to horizon, with jellyfish. Each bell rises and falls, thousands, tens of thousands moving with the same patient rhythm. The water seems alive, breathing. The ocean becomes a city without streets, without buildings, but with endless soft bodies drifting together. From above, these blooms can look like clouds made of glass. From below, they look like a storm of lanterns glowing in the dark. To swim among them is to enter a dream, a place where time slows, and every movement is a pulse, a sigh, a shimmer. Why do they gather like this? Some blooms are born from abundance. When the ocean grows rich with plankton, jellyfish multiply quickly, each one taking its share of the feast. Their numbers swell like flowers in spring. Other blooms rise from change. Warmer waters, shifting currents, fewer predators. In some parts of the world, humans have fished out the turtles that once ate jellyfish, and so the blooms have grown larger, unbalanced, filling the seas with more and more drifting bells. Yet there is beauty in the sight. A bloom is not chaos. It is a slow-motion dance of thousands of hearts that do not beat, yet still create rhythm. Each jellyfish moves on its own, yet together they form patterns, spirals, waves. To the eye it looks like music made visible. For small creatures of the sea, A bloom is both shelter and danger. Tiny fish sometimes hide within the forest of tentacles, protected from larger predators who cannot reach inside. The jellyfish drift like moving walls, shields made of stings. But for others, the bloom is a trap. Small fish and plankton cannot escape the thousands of hungry tentacles waiting in every direction. To swim into a bloom is to step into a net woven from water itself. Humans too have found themselves surrounded by these drifting cities. Fishermen sometimes pull up nets heavy with jellyfish instead of fish. Boats have been stalled by blooms so dense that engines clog with jelly bodies. On beaches, waves push thousands ashore, a silent tide of translucent forms covering the sand. To see them in such numbers is to be reminded of the ocean's quiet power, its ability to shift in ways beyond our control. But when we look past the trouble, the blooms remain magical. Divers who swim through glowing blooms at night describe the experience as stepping into a sky of stars that moves. Each jellyfish glows faintly, some blue, some green, some pulsing with light as if the ocean itself were alive with constellations. It is a universe turned inward, a galaxy not above us but around us. There are places in the world where jellyfish gather so regularly they create lakes of their own. In Palau, a small island nation in the Pacific, there is a lake filled with millions of golden jellyfish. Every day they migrate across the water, following the path of the sun. They do not sting humans there, so people can swim among them surrounded by a cloud of living gold. To float in that lake is to feel like you are inside the heart of the ocean itself, drifting with an endless city of light. When we think of cities on land, we imagine noise, traffic, voices, and lights that never fade. A jellyfish city is the opposite. It is silent. It moves only with the current. Its lights are soft, glowing gently in rhythm with the sea. It has no walls, no boundaries. It grows and dissolves with the tides, rising from invisibility, then fading again into the vastness. Perhaps that is why jellyfish blooms feel so dreamlike. They are here, then gone. A city without roots, a gathering without plan. They remind us that not all beauty is meant to last. Some wonders exist only for a moment, then vanish, leaving behind only memory. As you rest tonight, picture yourself drifting into one of these cities. Around you, thousands of bells open and close, their tentacles trail like ribbons of light. No noise, no hurry, only the patient rhythm of the sea, multiplied until the whole ocean feels like one great breath. You are no longer alone. You are part of a city without borders, a chorus of silent drifters. You pulse with them, glow with them, vanish with them. The ocean is not empty. It is full, alive, endless. And like the jellyfish city, you're carried gently forward, without effort, without fear, only drifting, only glowing, only dreaming. The colours of the sea. The ocean is often imagined as endless blue, but within its depths live creatures that carry colours as delicate as rainbows, as soft as light passing through glass. Among the most ethereal of these are the jellyfish, bodies of water that bend light into living art. They are not painted by hand nor carved by time. They are colours made of silence, drifting through the sea. Some jellyfish are clear, so clear they almost vanish. Their bells shimmer like glass bubbles, bending sunlight into silver arcs. If you swim beside them, they are nearly invisible. Only the faint ripple of water gives them away. It is like looking at the air itself, shaped into life. Others glow with gentle hues, pale pink, soft violet, golden amber. Their colours are not loud, not shouting like flowers on land. They are whispers, delicate tones that fade and return with the angle of light. One moment a jellyfish is nothing but glass. The next blushes rose or burns gold, as though it has borrowed the colours of dawn. And then there are those who truly shine. Deep in the black ocean, far below the reach of the sun, jellyfish bloom with their own light. They shimmer blue, green, sometimes red, like lanterns drifting in the abyss. This glow is called bioluminescence, a word that means living light. It is born from chemical reactions inside their cells, sparks of energy that spill outward as soft flame. To see a glowing jellyfish in the dark is to see a star alive. Some flash in patterns, small signals for reasons we do not fully know, and glow only when touched, lighting up like a struck match when disturbed. And some drift with a constant steady gleam carrying their glow like a quiet heartbeat. Scientists believe this light may confuse predators or attract prey, or simply disguise the jellyfish by breaking their outline in the dark. But beyond science, the sight feels like poetry. The deep sea where all else is shadow is suddenly a galaxy. The jellyfish float like constellations, stars that fell from the sky and kept shining beneath the waves. On the surface in shallow seas, sunlight turns jellyfish into prisms. As their bells expand and contract, they catch the light, splitting it into rainbow threads. Divers often describe them as floating jewels, emerald, sapphire, pearl, yet these colours are not painted on their bodies. They're created by water itself, bending light as it passes through. The jellyfish are not only creatures, they are moving windows, living glass that reveals the secret colours hidden in the sea. Some jellyfish carry bold colours of their own. The lion's mane jellyfish, one of the largest in the world, wears a bell of deep crimson, with tentacles that glow orange and gold like burning fire. Its colours stretch for meters beneath the waves, a curtain of flame in the cold ocean. It is both beautiful and fearsome, a vision of living fire moving silently in water. Others are gentle pastels like the moon jellyfish. Its bell is pale blue, its edges tinged with lavender. When it drifts, it looks like a piece of sky fallen into the sea. Its movements are soft, its colours soft, a reminder that beauty does not need brightness to be endless. Even the smallest jellyfish carry wonders of colour. Some have veins of turquoise, some faint glimmers of silver. Some shine only under special light, invisible to our eyes but glowing under the gaze of other creatures. The ocean holds colours we cannot even see, hidden spectrums beyond our reach, known only to the animals that live there. Colours are more than beauty. For jellyfish, they are also survival. Some are bright to scare predators. Some are transparent to hide. Some use light to lure tiny creatures close. The sea is both stage and camouflage, and jellyfish wear its colours like shifting costumes. Yet for us, their colours are something else. They are moments of wonder, reminders that the ocean is not empty, not plain, not only blue. It is a shifting canvas, painted by beings who do not even know they are art. Imagine lying on your back in shallow water, sunlight pouring down. Around you jellyfish drift, their bells catching the light. One glows pale pink, another shimmers blue, another vanishes into silver. Together they move like a rainbow broken into pieces, scattered across the sea. At night, imagine yourself deeper, where the world is black. Suddenly, ahead a faint light glimmers, then another, then 1,000 more. You're inside a galaxy, each jellyfish a star, each colour a note in a silent song. You're floating weightless, surrounded by light born not of the sun, but of life itself. The colours of jellyfish are not painted to please us. They are born of need, of chance, of ancient survival. And yet to see them is to feel a kind of gift. They remind us that beauty exists without reason, that wonder can bloom even when no one watches. So as you drift into sleep tonight, imagine the sea filling with colours, clear as glass, soft as rose, bright as furze flame, glowing as stars. Imagine them around you, moving gently, slowly, endlessly. You are drifting in the colours of the sea, wrapped in light, carried by water. And in that drifting, you're not only watching beauty, you are part of it. Jellyfish and the moon. The ocean has always listened to the moon. Each night its silver light touches the waves, and each day its gravity pulls the tides back and forth like breathing. And within that rhythm, jellyfish drift. They are creatures of water, but also of the moon's quiet hand. The very name of one jellyfish tells the story. The moon jellyfish, pale and round, drifts like a glowing coin in the sea. Its body is translucent, almost invisible, yet its bell catches the light in a way that makes it shimmer like the moon seen through clouds. For centuries, sailors watched these jellyfish glowing under moonlight and thought the ocean was filled with falling pieces of the sky. The moon does more than light the sea, it moves it. Tides rise and fall, carrying jellyfish with them. Some scientists believe jellyfish have learned to follow this pull, moving in ways that match the moon's cycles. Even though they have no brain, no eyes, no bones, they drift as if they can sense the lunar rhythm. It is as though the moon and jellyfish are quietly connected, partners in a dance that has lasted for millions of years. At night, under a full moon, shallow waters often fill with glowing jellyfish. Their bells pulse slowly, catching beams of silver light, turning the ocean into a mirror of the sky. Each movement feels calm, timeless, endless, as though the moon itself were breathing through them. To watch it is to see water and sky speaking to one another, with jellyfish as the words. Even in the deepest ocean where moonlight cannot reach, its gravity still shapes the water. Currents rise and fall in lunar rhythm, and jellyfish follow, rising by night, sinking by day. It is a pattern older than human memory, a secret link between the silent moon above and the silent creatures below. The moon jellyfish is gentle. Its sting is soft, barely felt by human skin. Its body is fragile, melting away if lifted from water. And yet it is one of the most enduring forms of life on Earth, found in nearly every ocean, from warm shores to icy seas. Like the moon itself, it seems eternal, always returning, always there, even when unseen. Scientists have discovered that some jellyfish time their vertical migrations with the lunar cycle. When the moon is full and bright, they sink deeper, hiding from predators that might see them. When the moon is dark, they rise higher, feeding more freely. It is a quiet calendar written not in numbers, but in light and shadow. Imagine standing on a shore under moonlight. The tide is high, the air calm. Beneath the surface, jellyfish drift like paper lanterns, their bells glowing with faint bioluminescence. You look at the moon above, then back to the water, and realize that you are seeing two reflections of the same mystery, one shining in the sky, the other drifting in the sea. The moon has always guided life. Sea turtles crawl ashore to lay eggs under its light. Crabs scuttle in rhythm with its tides. And jellyfish, older than them all, pulse and drift as if tied by invisible threads to its glow. It is not just poetry, it is survival, shaped by gravity, written in water. Some ancient cultures saw jellyfish as fragments of the moon that fell into the sea. Others believe their glow was moonlight made alive. Myths like these remind us that long before science, humans felt the same wonder. They saw jellyfish not only as creatures, but as messengers, carrying the quiet voice of the moon into the ocean's heart. And perhaps, in a way, that is true. For every jellyfish pulse is a kind of timekeeping. Each movement echoes the moon's pull. Even as they drift aimlessly, they are part of a larger rhythm, one that binds all oceans, all shores, all tides together. Close your eyes and imagine floating with them. Above you the moon is full, casting its silver path across the water. Around you jellyfish rise and fall, their bells pulsing in the same rhythm as the tide. The sea breathes in, the sea breathes out, and you drift with it, carried by both water and light. The moon is far away, but its touch is gentle and endless. Jellyfish, delicate as glass, follow its pull without question, and in that drifting, in that rhythm lies a lesson, that even the smallest, softest beings are part of something vast, something cosmic. So tonight, as you close your eyes, let the moon guide you too. Imagine yourself a jellyfish, rising with the tide, sinking with the dark, glowing softly as silver light touches your skin. You are no longer separate from the sea or the sky. You are part of the quiet dance of jellyfish and the moon, and like them, you drift in peace. The sting of silence. The jellyfish drifts in sentence. No bones, no brain, no heart. Only water, only light. Yet within its fragile body lies a secret both gentle and dangerous. The sting. It is strange to think that something so delicate can also hold power. Their stings are not anger, not malice. They are simply survival written into their skin. To touch a jellyfish is to touch thousands of tiny harpoons coiled inside its tentacles, waiting. These harpoons are called nematocysts, microscopic arrows tipped with venom. They fire in less than a millionth of a second, faster than almost anything in the natural world. They pierce, they inject, and they vanish back into silence. For a small fish, the sting is a net. It paralyzes, it slows, it turns struggle into stillness. The jellyfish then pulls its prey inward, gently like water drawing water. For humans, the sting is usually a shock. Some are mild like a brush of nettles, a sharpness that fades. Others burn longer, leaving red trails on the skin. And a few, rare but real, are deadly, reminders that fragility does not mean weakness. The most dangerous jellyfish live in warm seas. The box jellyfish, with its nearly invisible body, carries venom strong enough to stop a human heart. And yet it does not chase, does not hunt. It drifts, it waits, it stings only when touched. Danger and peace wrapped into one. But most jellyfish are gentle. The moon jellyfish, for example, barely stings at all. Its touch is so mild many swimmers never notice. It drifts among people, glowing under the sun, harmless as a passing cloud. In its softness lies another kind of strength, the ability to survive without the need to harm. The sting is part of the mystery. How can creatures without minds create weapons so precise? Science tells us it is evolution shaped by time. Jellyfish have floated for over 500 million years, and in that time their stings became both shield and spear. They are not predators in the way sharks are. They do not chase, they do not bite. They drift, and let the ocean bring food to them, stinging only when the moment comes. To see a jellyfish sting under a microscope is to see wonder hidden in danger. The nematocyst uncoils like a spring, firing its thread into flesh. It is beautiful, in a strange way, like a flower blooming too fast for the eye to follow. Beauty and fear joined in one tiny act. For humans, stings are reminders. They remind us that the ocean is not ours, that its softness can still hold teeth. They remind us to move gently, to respect the unseen. And yet even in their sting, jellyfish remain creatures of silence. They do not roar, do not thrash. Their danger comes quietly, like lightning without thunder. In many cultures, the sting of jellyfish has been turned into story. Some saw them as spirits, punishing those who touched the sea without care. Others believed their venom was moonlight made sharp, a warning from the sky. Even myths understood that beauty and caution live side by side in the jellyfish. Imagine drifting in the water at night. Around you, glowing jellyfish will drift, their bells pulsing softly. You float closer, and for a moment you feel the brush of a tentacle across your skin. A faint sting, a whisper of fire, then nothing more. You're reminded that you're touching a being older than mountains, one that defends itself without sound, without rage, only the sting of silence. For the jellyfish, the sting is not cruelty, it is balance. It keeps them alive, feeding them, protecting them, allowing them to continue drifting through centuries. Without it, they would vanish. Swallowed by the endless hunger of the sea, with it they endure. And perhaps there is a lesson in that sometimes strength does not shout, sometimes it does not strike with fury, sometimes it waits, quiet and hidden, revealed only when needed. Jellyfish remind us that even the most delicate lives can hold invisible power. So as you close your eyes tonight, think of them drifting, transparent, fragile, yet carrying the sting of silence. They do not fight, they do not flee, they fought, they endure, they survive. And like them, you too can carry quiet strength, soft on the outside, strong within. You drift into dreams, wrapped in water, wrapped in calm. And all around you, jellyfish float, their tentacles trailing, their bells pulsing, their stings hidden in silence. You are safe, you are still, you are part of the ocean's quiet strength, the endless drift. The jellyfish does not swim as we do. It does not push against the water, nor fight the currents, nor carve its own path. It drifts. Its bell pulses softly, a slow rhythm that keeps it floating. But the ocean decides where it will go. It is a passenger of the sea, carried by tides, carried by currents, carried by the endless breath of the world. This drifting is not weakness. It is a kind of wisdom. For in surrendering to the water, jellyfish have survived for hundreds of millions of years. They do not resist the sea, they become part of it. They ride its flows, its pulls, its turns, moving with a patience that no storm can break. To watch a jellyfish drift is to watch peace in motion. Its bell expands and contracts, slow as sleep. Its tentacles trail behind, flowing like threads of silk. There is no rush, no urgency. Every movement is gentle, every path uncertain, yet always enough to keep it alive. The ocean is full of currents, some seen, most unseen. Rivers of water flow beneath the surface, carrying plankton, carrying fish, carrying life itself across the globe. Jellyfish follow these invisible roads. They drift in swarms, sometimes thousands together, sometimes millions, their translucent bells glowing like lanterns in the sea. These gatherings are called blooms, and when they appear, it is as if the water itself has come alive. In a bloom, jellyfish move not with struggle, but with unity. They drift as one body carried together by the same current. It is a kind of silent migration, not planned, not led, but shared. Each jellyfish moves alone, yet together they form patterns that stretch for miles. Some scientists believe jellyfish can sense the direction of currents, adjusting their pulsing just enough to follow food or escape danger. But mostly they let go. They trust the water, as though they have always known that the ocean is wiser than they are. There is something deeply calming in this. We, on land, spend our lives fighting currents. Time, work, worry, desire. Jellyfish remind us that another way exists, to drift, to let the world carry us, to trust that we will still arrive somewhere, even without control. Imagine floating beside them in the open sea. You lie still, waves rocking your body. Around you, jellyfish drift, their bells glowing faintly in the sunlight. You're both passengers now, carried by the same invisible tide. There is no path, no destination, only the endless drift. In the deep where light fades, jellyfish drift upward and downward with the day. By night, they rise toward the surface, following plankton that glow in moonlight. By day, they sink into the dark, hiding from predators. This vertical journey is called diel migration, the largest daily movement of life on Earth. Billions of creatures rise and fall with the sun, and jellyfish drift among them, part of the planet's quiet breath. Even storms cannot stop their drift. Waves may toss them, winds may stir the sea, but when calm returns, they are still there, still pulsing, still drifting. Fragile as they seem, jellyfish are enduring. They have faced every change the Earth has offered. Ice ages, warming seas, shifting continents, and still they drift. They remind us that survival does not always come from strength. Sometimes it comes from surrender. In some ways, drifting is their story. They began as tiny polyps fixed to rocks. Then, when the time was right, they transformed into medusae, the free-floating form we know as jellyfish. From stillness, they became wanderers. From rock, they became water. Their whole life is a journey of letting go, and in that letting go lies beauty. For when jellyfish drift, they turn the sea into a dreamscape. Their translucent bells catch the light, their tentacles trail like ribbons, and together they become moving clouds, endless, soft and slow. To drift with them is to feel time itself slow down. No urgency, no destination, only the rhythm of the water, the heartbeat of the sea. Perhaps this is why jellyfish are so calming to watch. They live in a way we secretly long to live, without hurry, without fear, carried by something larger than themselves. Close your eyes tonight and imagine drifting. Feel the current beneath you, gentle as a lullaby. Feel your body become light, your breath slow, your mind quiet. Around you, jellyfish drift endlessly, pulsing softly, carried by the same tide that carries you. You are no longer separate. You are part of the endless drift. And in that drift, you are safe. You are still. You are eternal. The shape of water. The jellyfish is water made alive. More than 90% of its body is liquid, a flowing, shifting, soft substance that moves as freely as the sea itself. There are no bones, no hard shell, no rigid structure. Its form is only the shape of water held together by skin, pulsing with each breath of the ocean. It is strange to think that something so fragile can survive for millions of years. Water, by itself, slips through fingers, drifts away, disappears. And yet jellyfish, almost nothing but water, endure. They drift through storms, survive predators, and bloom in numbers that fill oceans. The softest things can be the strongest. The bell of a jellyfish is like a small dome of liquid glass. Each pulse expands and contracts, propelling it slowly through the water. Its tentacles trail behind, flowing like silk ribbons in slow motion. When the jellyfish moves, it is not swimming like a fish. It is shaping the water around it, bending it, letting it carry its body forward. The water and the jellyfish become one. Because they are mostly water, jellyfish can change shape easily. A bell may flatten or curl, a tentacle may twist, a body may shrink or stretch. This flexibility allows them to move in ways we cannot easily imagine. They can squeeze through narrow spaces, drift with currents, and even escape predators by folding into themselves, invisible and soft. Some scientists describe jellyfish as liquid animals. They are a living reflection of the sea itself, flowing with the tides, shaped by light, guided by currents. Their bodies are mirrors of the water around them. To watch them is to watch the ocean breathe, to see fluid life in motion. Because they are made of water, jellyfish are also remarkably resilient. They can survive in deep, cold seas or in warmer, shallow waters. They can endure months without food, drifting with the tides, and yet their form remains gentle, transparent, delicate. They are strength wrapped in softness. Their shapes are endless. Some jellyfish have domes that look like umbrellas, broad and round. Others are thin, flat, almost invisible. Tentacles may trail meters behind or curl like springs. Some pulse slowly, like breathing. Others pulse faster, faster than our eyes can follow. Each shape is water in motion, sculpted by evolution, refined over millions of years. Watching them can feel hypnotic. The soft bell rises, falls, rises, falls. Tentacles trail behind like ribbons caught in a slow wind. Colours shimmer, sometimes faint, sometimes glowing, yet always fluid. You almost forget that this is an animal. It is liquid made alive, moving as if water itself had grown consciousness. Because jellyfish are mostly water, they are fragile. Remove them from their sea and their bodies collapse. Yet this fragility is part of their poetry. It reminds us that life does not need armour to endure, that softness and strength are not opposites. That beauty can exist in a shape that bends, flows, and drifts. And there is something calming in that realization. We too are mostly water. We too can flow, drift, bend, and adapt. The jellyfish becomes a mirror, showing us how to move through life with softness, with patience, with gentle endurance. In the quiet of the ocean, every pulse of the bell is a whisper. Water can hold life. Water can shape itself into wonder. Water can endure, even without hardness, even without fight. And so can you. Tonight, imagine yourself as water, soft and flowing, drifting with the current, pulsing gently. Around you, jellyfish move, shapes of liquid and light. Their forms rise and fall. Their tentacles trail. Their bodies shimmer. You are part of the water, part of the drift, part of the endless shape that moves through the ocean and through the world. You are not separate from the calm, not separate from the flow. You are water. You are life. You are drifting softly in the rhythm of the sea. And in that drifting you are safe, you are still, you are whole. The forgotten ancients. Jellyfish are older than most things we know. They drift through the ocean today, but their ancestors swam these waters hundreds of millions of years ago. Long before trees, long before birds, long before humans. They are living fossils, a quiet thread stretching through time, almost unchanged, almost eternal. Imagine the world when jellyfish first appeared. The oceans were new, strange and wild. Strange creatures floated in the water, some with shells, some with spikes, some with strange eyes that looked in every direction. There were no fish yet, no turtles, no whales. And through it all, jellyfish drifted, pulsing with gentle rhythm, untouched by the chaos of life around them. They have survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, rising continents, falling seas. They have seen entire ecosystems rise and vanish. Yet they remain, still soft, still glowing, still drifting. To touch a jellyfish today is to touch a living fragment of deep time, a being that connects the present to a world we can barely imagine. The oceans themselves have changed so much, but jellyfish have adapted quietly. Their simple bodies, made mostly of water, their delicate pulsing, their floating drift, all have allowed them to survive where more complex creatures could not. They do not hunt, do not build, do not fight. They simply exist, flowing with the currents, moving with the tides, adapting with patience and grace. Some jellyfish have life cycles that are almost as mysterious as their longevity. Tiny polyps can sit attached to a rock for years, invisible, waiting for the right conditions. Then suddenly, they transform into medusae, drifting into the open sea. It is a quiet miracle repeated countless times over millions of years. Because they are so ancient, jellyfish carry stories written in their cells. They have seen the rise of coral reefs, the first fish, the first land plants. They have drifted beneath ice sheets, under sun-warmed seas, through oceans filled with predators and prey alike. They have witnessed the earth in ways that humans cannot even imagine. Yet they are humble. They make no sound, no mark, no claim. They drift, they pulse, they glow. Their power is quiet. Their survival is gentle. They teach us that endurance does not need force, that longevity does not require dominance. Sometimes lasting is enough. There is poetry in this quietness. Most of the creatures we call ancient are fierce, so moving or hidden, but jellyfish are soft, almost invisible, delicate beyond belief. And yet, they are older than sharks, older than whales, older than the forests we walk in. In the ocean, age is not measured in size or strength, but in patient drifting, in gentle adaptation, in timeless presence. To imagine the forgotten ancients is to imagine floating through time itself. A jellyfish drifts past, and we might think it is fragile, new, unimportant. And yet, beneath its soft bell lies history written in liquid light, the slow memory of millions of years. Every pulse of its body echoes eons of drifting through oceans that no longer exist. For us, who live short lives by comparison, jellyfish remind us to slow down. They remind us to drift with patience, to adapt with quiet strength, to survive without struggle. They are lessons in time, lessons in resilience, lessons in being gentle, while enduring all the storms of life. Tonight, imagine drifting among them, ancient beings rising and falling in the water. Imagine touching a creature older than most things you have known. Its pulse is soft, its glow faint, but its life spans more than you can measure. You're floating alongside history, weightless, calm, connected. And in that connection, you feel something beyond time. You feel endurance without effort, longevity without struggle, and the quiet poetry of the forgotten ancients. You're safe, you're still, you're drifting with life that has always been and always will be, into the deep. The deep ocean is quiet in ways we can hardly imagine. Sunlight fades, water grows dense, and pressure rises until the world feels heavy and silent. And there, in that stillness, jellyfish drift. Some glow faintly, casting soft light across the darkness. Some vanish almost completely, visible only when the eyes adjust, like ghosts of the sea. To descend into these depths is to leave the world of clocks and schedules, of noise and hurry. The water itself seems older, slower, more patient. Jellyfish drift here as they have for hundreds of millions of years, unhurried, pulsing in rhythm with currents, with tides, with the heartbeat of the planet itself. Some jellyfish here are small, no bigger than a coin, yet glowing with delicate bioluminescence. Others are enormous, bells spanning meters, tentacles flowing behind like ribbons of light and shadow. They drift past one another in silence, sharing the same water, yet moving independently. As a sea ballet, a living poem in motion. The deep is a place where time stretches. Days and nights are irrelevant. Currents are gentle guides. In this space, jellyfish are perfectly at home. They move with grace, propelled by nothing but the expansion and contraction of their bells. Every pulse sends them a little further. Every drift carries them along currents older than human memory. Scientists explore these depths with submersibles and cameras, capturing glimpses of glowing forms that seem almost unreal. In some cases, blooms appear even here, faint clouds of lanterns suspended in the dark. The sight is mesmerizing, hypnotic, almost meditative. The deep ocean is not empty. It is full of life that moves in slow motion. Life that has no rush. Life that simply is. Here, jellyfish remind us how fragile yet enduring life can be. Pressure is immense, food is scarce, predators roam unseen, but still they pulse, still they drift, still they glow. Survival does not always require struggle. Sometimes it requires patience, surrender, and trust in the flow. Many deep-sea jellyfish have shapes and colours that seem borrowed from dreams. Long, trailing tentacles shimmer with bioluminescent sparks. Bells glow blue, green, violet, even red. Some undulate in waves that ripple across meters of water. Every movement is soft, hypnotic, and fluid, turning the ocean into a cathedral of quiet light. To imagine floating among them is to leave the world behind. You do not swim, you do not fight. You are weightless, drifting slowly, enveloped in darkness, surrounded by faint stars made of living water. Time loses meaning. You rise and fall with the currents. You pulse with the jellyfish. You become part of the ocean itself. Even danger is quiet here. Predators glide past without notice, other creatures hunt, but the jellyfish continues its slow, eternal rhythm. Their very fragility becomes their strength. They survive because they yield, because they move with the water instead of against it. In the deep, you realize the ocean is a teacher. It teaches calm. It teaches patience. It teaches that life can exist without hurry, that beauty can drift unnoticed, and that silence can be more powerful than sound. Jellyfish, with their soft, translucent bodies, are the guides on this journey. They show us how to exist without forcing, how to move without striving, how to be alive in quiet wonder. As you drift with them, your thoughts soften. Your body feels light. Your mind feels clear. The pulse of each jellyfish, the gentle rhythm of the water, the faint glow of bioluminescence, all become a lullaby, a quiet song of the deep. And when you rise toward shallower waters, carrying the memory of this silent world, you realize something profound. The ocean does not rush. The jellyfish does not hurry, and neither do you need to. You can drift, you can glow, you can be gentle and enduring, carried by currents older than time itself. So as sleep comes, imagine yourself in the deep, surrounded by pulsing, glowing jellyfish, weightless, calm, endless. You are part of the water, part of the light, part of the silent rhythm of life that stretches through oceans, through time, through dreams. And in that drifting, in that soft, glowing quiet, you are safe, you are still, you are whole.